and happy Card Challenge Wednesday, everyone. I've got another card challenge for you. In this week's Creative Card Challenge, I am going to be using a card sketch. So your challenge is to create a card uniquely yours that follows this sketch. Hello and welcome. My name is Kristina Reese, and this is Creating with Kristina. I come live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday here on my Facebook page, 9:30 Central, to bring card tutorials to you to help you with your card making. And like I said, this is Card Challenge Wednesday, so I have a challenge for you. But before we get into all that, let's see who won last week's card challenge. So last week's card challenge was a monochromatic card. Monochromatic means the same color, but in a different shades. Okay, so darks and lights of the same color. And we had quite a few entries. I hope all of you who entered the challenge and those of you who didn't will go back to the post and look at all those amazing cards. They're really beautiful. But are you ready for the winner? Here we go. Okay, let me pull this up and dun 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 dun. Congratulations, Julie. I'm not even going to try to say your last name. It looks like, well, like I said, I'm not even going to try it. Julie, congratulations. Please send me a private message with your mailing address so I can send your prize to you. Okay. So like I said, this is Card Challenge Wednesday, and I've got a new challenge for you. So let's get started. It is a card sketch challenge, and today is the 3rd of November. So I picked card sketch number 3 out of this 30 card sketches with examples. If you're not familiar with this is a card sketch book that I created, that I put together. I do sell it. It's $4.95, and it just helps cover the cost of my blog and my newsletter platform. So it's got all kinds of sketches in here with examples. There's a link for that in the description. So we're using card sketch number 3, like I said, and I want to show it to you, kind of explain it. So here we have this dark back here is the card base. Then I put layers here. So I have this layer, and then I have this darker layer down here. I have a flat banner flag, and I have a circle. Now, you don't follow, I followed it pretty close. Well, matter of fact, exactly close. That looks exactly like the sketch, but you don't have to. And today I am going to show you what I can do different so it still stays with the sketch, but it doesn't look just like this, okay? So that's what we're gonna do. And I'm gonna be using the Words of Cheer stamp set and the dies. I love these dies. How many of you guys love echo? So you cut out the word, and then you cut out its echo and you layer it. And it has cheer and it has happy. And then the stamp set has all the parts. So happy holidays, happy Christmas, cheer. I have no idea what you'd put with cheer, but anyways. Anyways, this is just really cool. And then, of course, they have the cutout. I love it when they give us the cutout for the large stamp, so I don't have to fussy cut all that. That's a lot of fussy cutting, so that was good that they put that in there. And then the other thing we're going to do is use this fun paper. I have not used this paper yet. At the beginning of every catalog, I do a paper share, and so I always have a half pack of every single paper we sell, because I order enough so that I can have a half pack of everything. And this is called Sweet Stockings, and it's the puppies and the cats and the stockings. Oh my gosh, so cute. But what I really like about it, if you're not really into animals during the holidays, which anyways, the back side. And also this is year-round stuff. Like this is Valentine's, okay? Spring, winter with the little snowflakes here, okay? This is any time of year, green. Stars, any time of year. Really fun. Okay, the color scheme. Cherry cobbler, bumblebee, old olive, evergreen, pool party, and cinnamon. How fun. I love those colors. They don't look like traditional Christmas colors, but they are. They're going to make a really cute card. All right, so let's take this all this stuff I have here and my card sketch. Let's pull this over. Hey, look at all these people popping up. I love how the comments take a minute to come in and then they all come in at once. Yes, hello, hello. Oh, hey, Kathy. Irvin is in Texas. Hello, my Texas buddy. Morning, morning, morning. Love it. Okay, and for those of you watching on YouTube, this is recorded live on my Facebook page. Let me put that up there so you know where we are. All right, Facebook, Creating with Kristina. So I have the card base. Now, this card base, let me get it down to where you can see it. Okay. This card base show the designer paper or the layer is smaller than the base. I'm not going to do that on this card. I am cutting out the designer paper 4 1/4, so it covers the entire front of the card. I'm not going to have a border around my card, okay? So that's something I've changed up that doesn't have to stay the same, okay? So that's one thing. And let's go ahead and tape that on. So I love these stringed lights. Is that not just so fun? And then this is just the back side of it. So I cut it at 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and then I just cut 2 inches off and flip it over. How easy is that? Love it. All right, let's tape that on there. And it looks like Fran is from Michigan. And Lynn says she's getting to watch live today. Well, welcome, Lynn. We are so glad you are here. Okay, let's put this on. I've got to pay attention to make sure you all can see me in the camera. Okay, that's on there. And now let's do this one. Oh, goodness. Sometimes it doesn't want to break, and then it gets all stringy. It pops back, and it goes in there, and then you get a mess inside your runner. So be careful to not let it do that. All right, I am putting that right on the edge of the bottom. It overlapped like a hair, but that's perfect. I like it when it overlaps just slightly so that there's no gap here, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to be tying a ribbon to hide that seam right there. Okay. All right. So now we have, whoops, get over here. Now we have these 2 parts of the sketch done. Next part, this circle. It doesn't have to be a circle. Oh, goodness. Get out. I need to move that. Hold on. Let me move that real quick. Okay, let's move it down so you can see the sketch. There we go. Okay, now back to this. Okay, good. Now I can see my sketch. All right, so this I used the layering circles here. Here I'm not. I am using the bouquet from the stamp set. So this is going to be my circle. All right, this is my circle. And when I put this on here, however, it just disappears. I mean, you can see the poinsettias, but the leaves and everything, excuse me, they just blend into that busy background. So I'm teaching you something here. One thing I like to do on my tutorials is give you art design tips. To pop this out so you can see it better, we need to put an echo on it. All right, so I pulled out the bumblebee paper. I thought the bumblebee would be a great echo since there is bumblebee lights on there. And the first thing we're going to do is adhere this on here. Then we'll just fussy cut around with so the bumblebee has an echo. Oops, come on, glue. There we go. And I'm trying to do a thin layer so it doesn't squish out. I hate it when it squishes out. Sometimes it does though, just a little bit. Okay, and then just put that on there. And then, I've explained this in the past. There are people out there that can fussy cut with large scissors, but excuse me, I have a tickle in my throat. With large scissors, and that's great, but these scissors are specifically made for fussy cutting. They're called paper snips, and they're they have a very short blade, but the best part is they have an incredibly sharp tip. So you can get in there and just do itty bitty teeny tiny snips. I'm gonna have to get me something to drink. Oh my goodness. All right, now like I said, I'm just doing a real quick echo, nothing fancy, just kind of following the outline of this. Oops. And I'm not even being real exact. Okay, one thing that helps is to get this extra stuff off of there. Okay, that's another trick for doing fussy cutting. All right, and then another part of fussy cutting is moving the paper and just shutting down the, bringing down the blade, not moving the blade, but just doing the cutting with one hand and the turning with the other. Okay. And the sharp blade is just nice because you can really get down into these crevices. The short blade is really nice because you can get down in those tiny little pockets without, you know, because if I had big blades, when I go here, the blade would be sticking out like way out here. And it's kind of difficult. But like I said, there are people who are amazing at fussy cutting with large scissors. I'm just not. And I've just found that the paper snips are so much better. There's actually an art for paper snipping. I don't know if you have ever seen it. The Amish are amazing at it. There's just beautiful where they have special papers they use and they cut out beautiful images. So the Amish do a lot of horses, horse and buggies, things like that. I have one that one of my students' mother made me for Christmas. Oh, holy gamoly, it's so beautiful. It's one of my treasures. Being a teacher, I got quite a few gifts, but some of the gifts were just amazing. And I'm very thankful for them. And of course, every time I see that little paper cutout that she did, I think of him. He was a sweet boy, really intelligent, loved to read. Of course, and I was a math teacher. And so I did have to get onto him a lot because I do remember that. He would try to read his books under the desk while I was teaching math. And I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, how do you get upset with a child who wants to read? The problem is he needed to be doing his math. Okay. Oh, Mississippi River. My husband's from Mississippi, Patty. My husband is from Tupelo, where good old Elvis is from. Yeah, I really went off on a tangent there talking. I guess that's what happens when you fussy cut. And when you're watching a live video, if I had pre-recorded this, I'd cut this out of the video so you wouldn't have to watch me do this. But I'm almost done. There we go. My husband's... Oh, yeah, fiber cables. Okay, yeah. Like I said, when you have the right tool, your job is so much easier. That goes for anything, even in cooking. If you have the right pot, you have the right utensil, yeah, it just makes it easier. Okay, so now watch this. I'm just going to just make it pop. Boom. Now you can see it better. If I had done a darker echo, it would have even been more of a pop, but I'm going to bring it up on dimensionals, so that's going to help also. All right, so what's next on my instructions here? We have the card base. The card base was 4 1/4 by 11, and we folded it in half. The reason why I do 4 1/4 by 11, when I tie a bow around, I like having the card like this. If I had had it this way, I would have had to tuck the ribbon under the designer paper, and that's a little more difficult because designer paper is kind of flimsy. All right, and so 4 1/4 by 11. Then the DSP was 4 1/4 by 2 and 4 1/4 by 3 1/2. So it's 5 1/2 all the way down. And all right, we're going to, and then I showed you this. I stamped, I colored, and I cut the bouquet out. And I adhered it to Bumblebee and cut that out. Now I'm going to stick it on with dimensionals. So let me get my dimensionals out. And I'm just putting 3 on here. A good triangle. Let's put you up there. I almost could have done 4 on there, but that's okay. Now, the other thing is, I'm going to be actually covering this poinsettia up, and my image that I'm covering it up with kind of comes out a little bit. So I am going to offset it just a tad. Okay. Oops, make sure that you are completely on the card. Okay, that just fits in that 3.5-inch space. All right, so we have that on there now. The next thing I want to do is okay, so the layering words here, all right? So I cut the echo out in the old olive, and that's just going to sit right there, okay? The actual word, however, is kind of skinny. And it's not too skinny. The bars for the P and the H and the Y are a little thicker. But trying to glue something on like this, you don't want the glue to squish out, and trying to do a tape runner is almost impossible. So we have something else called Adhesive Sheets. And how it works is you take the adhesive sheet, you lay it on here, well, first you peel off one side of the adhesive sheet and you lay it on here. You flip it over, you put your die on here, you run it through the die cutting machine, and you get this. All right, and then on the back is the wax paper that I'm going to peel off, okay? So it makes a sticker. I love it. All right, so let me see if I can get that. Oh gosh, I'm shaking. You all, I have hyperthyroidism, and sometimes it gets me. Ooh. And I never can tell if it's the food I'm eating or the drugs I'm taking. Not really drugs, but, you know, medicines. If my thyroid meds are off, I don't know. But some days I'm more shaky than others. And I am really shaky this morning. I can barely grab that. Okay. Whew. But there are tools for people who shake. That Stamparatus we have, that stamp positioning tool, whoo, doggy, that is the best. You don't have to worry about shaking hands on that. And another thing is my tweezers, okay? Okay, I can get in there and line that up. And I like starting in the middle, okay? There we go. And now the A, bring it in, kind of maneuver it where it goes. And then the H, whoops, come on. Perfect. And now go do this side. And the Y. Great. All right, so now we have our happy that's echoing. And I did the pool party with the happy to match the designer paper. And of course, the old olive matches the light bulbs back there. And I colored the holly leaves in the old olive. I colored these things. I know they're supposed to be leaves, but I wanted more pool party. And then, of course, the poinsettia and the berries are the cherry cobbler to match the light bulbs. So that's what we have so far. And now we need to put this on. Now, I do want this to pop up. So you're going to need your mini dimensionals if you have mini dimensionals. If you don't, okay, you can see how I've taken the edge of this and I've been snipping it. So I just snip little sections and it will fit right in all of that. And now, if you use your good scissors, you'll want to have a gum eraser. If you get any adhesive, you can just rub it off like that. So this is called a gum eraser. It's really great for getting adhesive off. And here we go. So we got that one and that one, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to make a longer one there. 5, 6. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Oh, yes, Meemaw. Waiting for me to finish. Yes, I can't wait to show you all the final piece I'm going to put on here. You are going to love it. Okay, come on. Whoops. Ugh. There we go. Whoops. Oh, I was like, where did the pieces go? There we go. Ooh, that one's kind of thick. Let's put that one over there. Let's see if I get a thinner one. I don't. Okay, there we go. And this one up here. All right, now take all the backs off. Make sure they're all stuck down good. Yes, Mary says she covers or uses layers on the front so she can fold the ribbon under the top layer. Absolutely, yes. I know a lot of people do that. And I could have done that. It's just like I said, the DSP is kind of flimsy, so I decided on cardstock. All right, here we go. We've got the happy on there. Actually, I'm going to do it at an angle. And the reason I'm doing it at an angle is because the word Christmas, and all I did was stamp it, and then I just took my snips and I just came across really close to the letters, and then I did a couple of angles. All right, so that's all that's there, and we are putting Christmas right there. And just a wee dot of glue, don't need very much. Okay, and my Christmas is parallel to the card, or perpendicular, whichever way you want to go. All right, I don't even know if I'm hitting anything. I'm not. Okay, well, put it on here. There we go. Okay, now it's on there. All right, so happy Christmas. Okay, almost done, you guys, almost done. All right, here we go. You ready for my... Is this not the cutest little guy in the whole world? Doesn't he just want to say happy Christmas? So I cut him out, and he is actually going to cover up that part of the flower there, and he's going right on there like that. Okay, and you can pop him up if you want. Like I always remind you that if you are going to put lots of dimension in your card, that in the United States, it can only be 1/4 inch thick, or you have to pay extra, okay? To get his little tail to stick up, I'm gonna have to do a little snipping again. Just a little, no, not that one, where did it go? There it is. An itty bitty bit. Okay. And I'm looking at his foot there, and I'm making his foot parallel to the ground. Okay, so it looks like he's not tilted. Okay. Well, I don't know if I want him that high. Let's pull him down a bit. Okay. Yeah, that looks good. All right, so now we have our puppy, and our last thing we're doing is our ribbon. And I'm just putting this in here like that. Tie it, and I have 18 inches. 18 inches is just enough to have your ends long enough so that they don't, so it's easy to tie the bow. And then I'm just going to use my clamping tweezers. There we go. And of course, sometimes it's difficult. You know, if it's too short, you can't, when you pull that loop through, it comes all the way through and you got to start over. But if you're just careful, it'll work. All right. Oh, and I forgot to take the tweezers out. There we go. Tighten it up some. Okay. If you want both your tails down and your loops up, you just kind of wiggle it like that. There you go. And the bow is covering up. There's too much stuff on this side of the card, so let's move our bow over. There we go. That's much better. And trim those ends. They're a little long. Okay. Happy Christmas, everyone! Is that not just the most fun card? All right, and let's look at the sketch now, okay? So there you go. Similar but different. You can see the idea of the sketch. You can see that there's something different at the bottom. It's not the same DSP on the whole thing. You've got a different color down here, or a different I'm trying to say, a different shade down here. You can be dark up here and light down here, or dark down here and light up here. It doesn't matter. I have light on top, dark on bottom. And Pool Party isn't that dark. So, you know, it just means a different shade. The banner, it's just a place for your sentiment. You can do a banner, or like I did here, I did a word echo. That's fine. And then the circle is just whatever cluster image you want to put here. You can use a circle, or like I did the bouquet and then I did the puppy on top. Okay. All right. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to see what you all create with this sketch. Remember, it is facebook.com/creating with Kristina, and the post that is pinned to the top is the post where you put your picture in the comments, okay? So after you've created your card, just take a picture of it and then put it in the comments, and the comment picker next week will randomly pick somebody. Let's see, one more time, don't forget this card sketchbook. If you want a copy of it, there is a link in the description. And another thing, are you all getting my emails? I have thousands of people who sign up for my email, and I just never know if they really get it or not, because it only says about 50% of my people actually open my emails. So if you're not getting it, it's probably going to your spam folder, all right? I sent one out yesterday, so you know if you're getting. If you did not get an email from me yesterday and you know you've signed up for my email, go look in your spam. Yesterday's email had your exclusive card tutorial. Once a week, I give you a card tutorial that is exclusive just for my subscribers. All right, and it was a really cute card too. Okay, that's enough. You all have a blessed Wednesday. I'll see you back here Friday for Fun Fold Friday. Bye-bye.